Imagine reaching into a jar of loose change, pulling out a small silver-colored dime, and discovering that it could be worth more than most houses in America. It sounds impossible. It sounds like one of those stories people tell but never actually experience. Yet rare coin discoveries happen every year, and some of the most valuable treasures are hiding in collections, old dresser drawers, forgotten piggy banks, and dusty boxes that haven't been opened in decades. Today, we are talking about a fascinating 1979 Roosevelt Dime, a coin that many people have seen but very few truly understand. Some rare examples connected to unusual minting characteristics and extraordinary collector demand have sparked intense excitement throughout the coin collecting community. The possibility that a tiny 10-cent coin could be connected to life-changing value is exactly why collectors continue searching through rolls of coins every single day. Picture the year 1979. America was experiencing change. Gas prices were rising. Families were saving money wherever they could. Millions of coins were moving through banks, stores, and cash registers across the country. At the San Francisco Mint, workers were producing special proof coins intended for collectors. These coins were struck with exceptional care, featuring mirror-like surfaces and sharp details. Among those coins were Roosevelt dimes carrying the famous S Mint mark. Most would become treasured collectibles. But according to stories shared among collectors, a handful stood apart from the rest because of unusual characteristics that transformed ordinary coins into objects of mystery and desire. The amazing part is that many people overlook Roosevelt dimes entirely. Pennies get attention. Silver dollars attract excitement. Gold coins dominate headlines. But dimes often sit quietly in collections, ignored and underestimated. That is exactly what makes rare dimes so fascinating. Now imagine a collector examining a proof set purchased decades ago. Everything appears normal at first glance. Then, under magnification, something unusual catches the eye. The mint mark doesn't look right. The strike seems different. Tiny details reveal a story hidden for years. Suddenly, a coin worth only 10 cents becomes the center of intense interest. This is where our story becomes even more intriguing. Before you assume every 1979 dime is valuable, it's important to understand that the overwhelming majority are common collector coins. The secret lies in knowing exactly what to look for. The difference between an ordinary example and an extraordinary one can be incredibly small, sometimes visible only under magnification. Collectors often focus on the S Mint mark itself. During this era, proof coins from San Francisco displayed mint marks that could vary in appearance. Certain varieties became highly sought after because of their distinctive characteristics. Specialists carefully study the shape, clarity, and position of the mint mark. A subtle difference that most people would never notice can dramatically increase collector interest. Take a moment to imagine how many coins pass through people's hands without a second glance. Thousands, tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands throughout a lifetime. Hidden among them could be a coin that tells a completely different story than the others. That possibility keeps collectors searching. Now let's talk about identification. If you're hoping to find a valuable 1979 Roosevelt dime, start by checking the date. After confirming the date and mint mark, examine the coin's overall appearance. Proof coins usually display highly reflective surfaces that resemble mirrors. The details on Roosevelt's portrait should appear crisp and well-defined. If the coin came from a proof set and has been preserved carefully, that's a positive sign. Next, use a magnifying glass or coin microscope. Pay close attention to the mint mark. Collectors search for specific varieties involving the shape and style of the S. Certain examples are considered scarcer and more desirable than others. Condition is another critical factor. Even rare varieties can lose significant value if they are heavily damaged. Coins with clean surfaces, strong details, and minimal imperfections are generally the most desirable. But here's where the suspense deepens. Many valuable coins spend years unnoticed because owners assume they are ordinary. Families inherit collections and place them in storage. Boxes move from one house to another. Generations pass without anyone realizing what might be hidden inside. There are countless stories of collectors opening old albums and discovering coins that have been sitting untouched for decades. The excitement of those moments is difficult to describe. 1 second you're looking at a common collection. The next second you're holding something that could attract serious attention from experts. Think about that for a moment. Somebody, somewhere, once spent 10 cents and received a coin that would later become far more valuable than its face value. They likely had no idea. They carried it in their pocket, spent it, saved it, or tucked it away without realizing that future collectors would be searching for examples just like it. That simple fact makes coin collecting unique. Every coin carries a journey. Every scratch, every mark, every year of storage becomes part of its story. As demand for rare varieties grows, collectors continue competing for the finest examples. Auction records for exceptional modern coins have surprised even experienced hobbyists. When rarity, condition, and collector demand align, prices can reach astonishing levels. That's why stories involving million-dollar valuations capture so much attention. The idea that a small coin could represent $1 million in potential value feels almost unbelievable. Yet rare coins have repeatedly proven that size and denomination don't determine worth. The market rewards rarity, demand, and uniqueness. Now imagine discovering a coin that experts have spent years trying to locate. Imagine realizing that the piece you've owned for decades contains characteristics that separate it from millions of others. That moment would completely change the way you look at every coin in your collection. For many collectors, the search itself becomes addictive. Every roll of coins offers hope, and perhaps that's the greatest lesson of all. Treasures are often hidden in the places people least expect. Valuable discoveries don't always come from expensive purchases. Sometimes they come from curiosity, patience, and careful observation. The collector who takes time to learn details gains an advantage over everyone who simply overlooks them. So if you have old proof sets, inherited coin collections, or containers full of forgotten change, consider taking a closer look. Examine the dates. Check the mint marks. Study the details. Use magnification. Compare what you find with known varieties. The process may take time, but the rewards can be extraordinary. Remember, the most successful collectors aren't necessarily the ones who spend the most money. They're the ones who pay attention. They're the ones who notice tiny differences that others ignore. They're the ones willing to inspect one more coin when everyone else has stopped looking. And somewhere out there, hidden among countless ordinary dimes, rare examples continue waiting to be discovered. Maybe one is sitting in an old collection assembled decades ago. Maybe one rests inside a forgotten proof set tucked away in a closet. Maybe one has survived untouched since 1979, waiting for the moment someone finally recognizes its significance. That possibility is what keeps the hunt alive. It fuels the excitement. It inspires collectors year after year to keep searching, learning, and believing that the next great discovery could happen at any moment. Because history has shown that extraordinary treasures sometimes hide in the most ordinary places. A tiny coin, a simple date, a small mint mark, details so subtle that most people never notice them. Yet for the collector who knows what to look for, those details can make all the difference between 10 cents and a fortune measured in $1 million. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. Imagine reaching into a jar of loose change, pulling out a coin you've seen 1,000 times before, and discovering that it could be worth a fortune. Not hundreds of dollars, not thousands, but over $1 million. It sounds impossible. It sounds like the kind of story people tell to spark excitement among collectors. Yet stories of rare coins turning ordinary people into unexpected winners have happened throughout American numismatic history. And today, we are talking about a coin that many people have overlooked for decades, the 1980D Roosevelt Dime. At first glance, the 1980D dime appears completely ordinary. Millions of them were produced at the Denver Mint. They circulated through banks, cash registers, vending machines, and countless pockets across America. Most are worth only their face value, 10 cents. Nothing more. But hidden among these common dimes are rare varieties, striking errors, and exceptional specimens that have fascinated collectors for years. Some have sold for extraordinary amounts because of their rarity, condition, and unique characteristics. And that possibility keeps collectors searching through rolls of dimes every single day. Picture the year 1980. America was experiencing economic uncertainty. Inflation dominated headlines. Families watched every dollar they spent. Meanwhile, deep inside the Denver Mint, presses were working around the clock producing coinage for the nation. Workers fed metal blanks into massive machines that struck thousands of coins every hour. Most of those dimes entered circulation unnoticed. But sometimes, something unusual happened. A tiny mechanical issue. A damaged die. A striking mistake. A production anomaly that lasted only minutes before being corrected. Those brief moments created coins that were different. coins that would later become treasures. Now imagine one of those rare pieces escaping into circulation. It gets spent at a grocery store, passed to a customer, dropped into a piggy bank, forgotten in a drawer. Years pass, decades pass, and nobody realizes what they have. That mystery is one of the reasons coin collecting remains so captivating. Rare discoveries often begin with ordinary change. Before we go further, pay close attention because the details matter. If you ever search through your own coins, knowing what to look for could make all the difference. Start by examining the date. You want to find 1980. Next, look for the mint mark. The Denver Mint used a small D mint mark located just above the date on Roosevelt dimes from that era. A genuine 1980 D dime should clearly display that D mint mark. Once you've confirmed the date and mint mark, the real hunt begins. Many collectors search for striking errors. One of the most exciting possibilities is a doubled die variety. This occurs when design elements appear doubled because of slight misalignment during die production. Look closely at the lettering. Examine Roosevelt's features. Inspect the date carefully. Any noticeable doubling can attract collector interest. Another valuable possibility involves off-center strikes. An off-center coin occurs when the blank was not properly positioned during striking. Part of the design may be missing while the remaining details appear shifted. The more dramatic the error, the more attention it often receives from collectors. Then there are clipped planchets. These occur when a coin blank is improperly cut from the metal sheet before striking. The result is a distinctive missing section along the edge. Collectors immediately recognize these unusual shapes, and they often command premiums. But here's where things become truly fascinating. Condition matters enormously. In fact, some of the highest-priced Roosevelt dimes ever sold weren't necessarily dramatic errors. They were simply preserved in astonishing condition. Think about it. Most dimes get scratched, dropped, rubbed against other coins, and worn down through years of circulation. Finding a 1980 D dime that looks almost exactly as it did the day it left the mint is surprisingly difficult. Professional grading services evaluate coins using detailed scales. A difference of a single grade point can mean the difference between a modest collectible and a highly valuable rarity. Collectors constantly compete for the finest known examples. And when population reports show only a handful of coins surviving in top condition, bidding can become intense. Now imagine opening an old collection inherited from a relative. You see a roll labeled 1980 D. You almost ignore it. After all, they're just dimes. But curiosity wins. You inspect them carefully. One coin stands out. Its surfaces shine brilliantly. Its details are razor sharp. There are almost no visible marks. That question has motivated countless collectors to search through old collections, estate sales, bankrolls, and forgotten coin jars. Because every great discovery begins with someone deciding to look. The emotional side of coin collecting is often overlooked. People assume it's only about money. But for many collectors, it's about history. It's about holding a piece of America's past. It's about connecting with memories of parents, grandparents, and childhood coin collections. And every rare coin carries a story. No one knows. And that mystery adds to the excitement. Now here's something important. A bright desk lamp can reveal details invisible under ordinary room light. Consider using a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Many valuable features are tiny. Small doubling. Minute decrex. Subtle strike characteristics. The details often separate ordinary coins from extraordinary finds. Attention collectors often resets at moments like this because the next coin you inspect could completely change your expectations. Thousands of people spend years ignoring their loose change. Yet dedicated collectors understand that remarkable discoveries still happen. Even today. Even now. And that's why searching remains so exciting. Think about all the places a 1980 D dime could be hiding. Old dresser drawers. Coffee cans filled with coins. Inherited collections. Garage sale boxes. Bank-wrapped rolls. Forgotten piggy banks. The possibilities seem endless. Every one of those locations could contain a coin waiting to be recognized. Some collectors search for years without a major discovery. Others find something special almost immediately. The difference often comes down to knowledge. Knowing what to look for. Knowing how to evaluate condition. Knowing how to recognize errors. And most importantly, knowing that rare coins can hide in the most ordinary places. Stories of incredible finds continue to inspire collectors across the country. A forgotten coin collection discovered in an attic. A rare variety identified in a family inheritance. A valuable error found in pocket change. These stories fuel the dream. And that dream keeps collectors searching. Now let's return to that astonishing possibility we mentioned earlier. In the coin market, exceptionally rare specimens, unique errors, and top population examples can command astonishing prices when the right buyers compete. That's why collectors never stop looking. Because rarity drives demand. And demand drives value. When a coin becomes one of the best-known examples in existence, collectors are often willing to pay incredible amounts to own it. Sometimes those prices reach levels that seem unbelievable. Sometimes they approach the realm of $1 million. And those possibilities capture the imagination of collectors everywhere. Imagine finding a coin that others overlooked for decades. Imagine learning that your ordinary-looking dime has characteristics that make it genuinely special. Imagine realizing that a small piece of metal sitting unnoticed for years might be worth far more than anyone expected. That possibility is powerful. It's exciting. And it's exactly why coin collecting continues to attract people of all ages. Every coin tells a story. Every collection holds mysteries. Every roll contains possibilities. And somewhere out there, a remarkable 1980 dime may still be waiting to be discovered. A coin hidden in plain sight. A coin that survived decades unnoticed. A coin that could transform from 10 cents into something extraordinary. Collectors understand that treasures aren't always buried underground. Sometimes they're hiding in the simplest places imaginable. A kitchen drawer.
A coiniar.
A forgotten box. A family collection. And that's why the search never ends. Because the next discovery could happen at any moment. The next rare find could appear in the next handful of change. The next valuable coin could already belong to someone who has no idea what they're holding. That's the magic of coin collecting. Hope. History. Mystery. And the chance that one small coin could become life-changing. Millions of dimes were struck in 1980 at the Denver Mint, but only a tiny number possessed the characteristics collectors dream of finding. Those rare examples continue to inspire searchers across America, and they remind us that extraordinary opportunities sometimes hide inside ordinary objects. Keep checking dates. Keep examining mint marks. Keep learning the details. Because somewhere out there, a remarkable coin is still waiting to be found. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million.